So good evening. We're going to do some more equation writing. We're going to write linear equations in slope-intercept form. So remember, slope-intercept form has the look of y equals mx plus b. Now, we're going to be writing a lot of equations, and again, they kind of mess with us because they keep giving us different types of information. So our directions, again, we want to write an equation of a line in slope-intercept form. But what they give us is 2 points. They give us a point 0, 2 and a point 1, negative 3. So what we're trying to do is define the line that passes through those 2 points. Now one method is I can just graph these 2 points. So 0, 2, we have 0, 2, and 1, negative 3. And I can draw a line that passes through those 2 points. So if I can get those points lined up. So, again, we have this point 0, 2, and we have this point 1, negative 3. And what we're trying to do is write an equation for that line. Now remember, in slope-intercept form, the m stands for our slope, and the b is our y-intercept. So if we look at this thing, though, notice that it does cross the y-axis at 2. So we can pick up on, this is a special point. This point here is actually a y-intercept. So we pick up on y-intercept. If that x value is 0, that y value is going to represent my y-intercept. So if we want to find the slope, we pick up on slope is this rise over run. So from this point here, I'm rising up 3. It looks like I'm rising up 5. I'm rising up 5, and it looks like I'm running over 1. So it looks like my slope, looking at my graph, is going to be a negative 5 over 1. Actually, I can put that as 5 over negative 1, which is a negative 5. Notice how it is a decreasing slope. My little skier guy is going downhill. Those are what we call decreasing or negative slopes. So notice how I have up 5 and over 1, that would be my slope. So I can pick up on then that, my equation is going to be y equals negative 5x plus 2. So I can get all the information off that graph if I want. Now graphing, kind of is time consuming, and also, we don't always get nice clean numbers like this. So it's always important to be able to do this algebraically as well. So doing this from an algebraic strategy, our first move, if I give you 2 points, is use the slope formula to find our slope. So an alternative way to do this is I can go m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now we pick up when we have these 2 points, so I can call this x1, y1, that could be point 1, and then this would be x2, y2, which denotes point 2. So in my formula, I end up with negative 3 minus 2, negative 3 minus 2, and I have 1 minus 0. So a negative 3 and a negative 2 would give me a negative 5 over 1, which does give me a negative 5. So our first move is to determine the slope of the line, and I can use the slope formula. That's the way to do it algebraically. Our next move is we want to use the equation y equals mx plus b. We want to substitute the m for slope. So what I pick up on is we have y equals negative 5x plus b. Now again, to be in slope-intercept form, not only do I have to find my m, but I also got to find my b. And that's where I end up, let me try to spell that word a little bit better there. So what we want to do is we want to substitute a point for x. So a point, remember, a point is defined by the x value and the y value. I want to substitute a point in to my equation. So I'm going to pick one of these points, and I'm going to solve for b. 0, 2 looks like an easier point to deal with than 1, negative 3. So it doesn't matter which point I choose. I want to choose the path of least resistance. I want to choose the one that has the easiest looking numbers. So what this tells me I can do is substitute 0 in for x, and I can substitute 2 in for y. So I have then 2 goes in for y, and a 0 goes in for x, and that enables me to solve for b. Now to solve for b, we know that negative 5 times 0 is 0, so what I end up with then is 2 is equal to b. So what I've discovered then is my slope I found using my slope formula was negative 5. I substituted a value for x and y in, that enabled me to solve for b. I got b equals 2. So now what I can do is write the equation in slope-intercept form. So we end up with then y is equal to then negative 5x plus 2, and that would be the equation line in slope-intercept form. So this can be done with the graph, but we're going to shift to try to play with things more algebraically, using formulas and substitutions. That's going to take us a little bit further into our next strategies as we move on. So it's good to be graphing. That may be a good way to verify it, is through your graph. Also, as we move on, my next example, you may want to stop the video before I start teaching it, and kind of see if you can work it out before I do, and then you can kind of follow on and see if we're on the same wavelength there. So I'm going to stop there, and we'll move into the next lesson. Stay tuned.